Yeah, so we are starting here with eco-friendly coffee shop, how to design this in a more sustainable way. And currently I'm residing in Muscat, Oman, which has got very high temperatures in summers, and we want to make the interiors comfortable as possible with the minimal use of energy, but with the maximum use of natural resources, energy from natural resources and not from artificial resources. So what we can do for this, let's have a look. These are the features for sustainable design. First and foremost is when we select and we think, rather when we start to think that we have to design a building, what do we think? How the placement, how the orientation should be, how the placement should be of the building. Now, in the northern hemisphere, where I'm currently in Muscat, or this also applies to India and other Asian countries in the northern hemisphere. So the preferred orientation, what should it be? The preferred orientation should be that we have more openings where the least amount of sun rays are received. So we would place it in a way that we have more windows towards east and north, and the least windows on south and west. Reason being, our sun direction path is from east to west via south, and the west is the place where sun is at a lower altitude and is very strong. So even if we try to build a horizontal shades, it will not cordon off all the sun rays. So we need something vertical really to barricade the sun rays which are coming directly into our window and into our house. So we try to put minimum possible windows in the west direction. In the south, however, we can give some, but we give longer shades which are horizontal. Since the altitude of sun is higher, it can cut off the sun rays, and we can still have some windows in the south, but definitely not in the west, but yes and yes for east and north. In the east direction, we'll have a morning sun rays which are very beneficial for us, and we should have more openness towards north and northeast direction. And like if we are design now, here we are talking about a small coffee shop, eco-friendly coffee shop. So I would say that we should have more open seating areas in north and northeast, which can be semi-covered, like with wooden pergola, plant trellis, and heavy plantations should be in south and southwest for sun protection, so that not only our windows are shaded but also our building is shaded, because the lesser the heat gain, the better it would be, because it's very high temperatures during summers in this particular area. So we need to reduce the heat gain as much as possible in this part of the world, and we should have low plantations. We can have seasonal small plantations in the north and northeast direction. Also, we can have some water feature in the north and northeast. This we should take also into consideration the wind direction. Mostly in these areas, the wind direction is from northeast to southwest. So along with the breeze, it will give you a pleasant feeling when it passes through water. It cools down and then it comes into your house or building. So let's see all of this in detail in the further slides. See, this is the sun path. Now we can understand clearly that it is moving from east going to the west and through south. So this is the area which is mostly you need to be protected. So we should try to have more plantations in this particular corner and more openness on this side. Let's zoom out a bit and we'll be able to have a better picture of it. See, we should have smaller openings here on east side for the morning sun. We should have maximum openings in the north because here we hardly have any sun rays and the least solar exposure is there. Here there is a direct solar exposure which is the west direction and should not have any windows. And then here we have high altitude sun exposure, so we can have some windows here because it will be good for the air ventilation, but then we should have it protected enough with the horizontal projections so that we don't get the direct sun rays into our buildings. Let's look for the wind direction. So here if we have open pergolas, semi-shaded seating along with some water features, it will be good because the breeze will flow mostly from northeast to southwest, and then we can have windows in the opposite directions but taking into consideration the solar path as well, so that we have a very good air circulation. All of us, we know that hot air rises, and so we can manage our windows in a way that we have wider openings in the northern side and we have smaller openings at the upper level on the south side. So what will happen is the draft will come in from the north side and then it becomes hot and then it will try to rise from the south windows which are placed at upper level but shaded properly. It would be better even if we could give leeward shading, because then directly the hot air coming out, it just rises up from the louvers. We don't have to do anything for that, and automatically the pattern of wind flow is formed, so it can achieve really great levels of comfort. And if we have a small water feature along with this in this area, it would even help us better to achieve a better environment. So what did we conclude from this? For the window openings and shading, let's just go through it once. We should have wider openings in the north, smaller openings placed at higher level in the south with horizontal projection for shading, for daylight and cross ventilation. Window shades in south to be leeward projection for hot air to rise and for shading from sun rays. East wall we should have smaller openings, and west wall we should try not to give any openings at all. Now these days we have many ideas for passive cooling. We can employ these passive cooling techniques to keep our indoor, or passive insulation techniques, I would say, to make our indoors more comfortable, to avoid the heat gain. So how can we achieve that? There are a few ways. First, let's go to the walls. There are new systems coming up every now and then. In this area, we generally go for concrete block walls, or in India, we go for brick walls. But there are another alternatives as well. So how do we increase the comfort level? We can increase by increasing the insulation. Now we have a new system these days called the rapid wall system. It's not just one system, there are so many systems, but this is just, I'm giving you one of the examples. Basically the idea should be that there should be enough insulation, air gap in between, so that it acts as a natural barrier for heat to be transmitted from one area to another area. Um, but I've just given an example in this presentation of a rapid wall system, which is locally. We should also try to go for locally available materials, because then less fuel would be spent on that, less money would be spent on that, and it will be easily available, and it would also boost the local economy, so which is good for everybody. Now here in Oman these days, there's a new system introduced called rapid wall system. It is eco-friendly system. It is 100% recyclable, manufactured from waste or natural raw materials. These are prefabricated panels which come in the size of 12 meter by 3 meters by 124 millimeters thick, and they are light in weight, as in 40 kgs per meter. They are prefabricated, and as per our design they can be custom made. And let's see further. Their fire resistance is quite high, so they are rated for up to 4-hour fire resistance when filled in with concrete. So we'll go to the previous slide and we see that this is basically air trapped in that wall. So this acts as an insulation, and these are the outer skins, which are 15 mm thick, 15 mm thick, and 94 mm is just the air inside. So which gives pretty good insulation. Along with fire resistance, it is also hurricane and earthquake resistant, which makes it better for so many areas these days, and we hear earthquakes happening some or the other place every day. Water and rot resistant, termite and sound resistant. Clean prefabricated construction reduces overall construction time, and because they are also light in weight. So you may see here, I've tried to highlight that how since they're prefabricated, the openings and the doors and the windows are already cut into that, so it gives you a better quality, neater lines. And then they are fixed onto the side. They have their own techniques of fixing them, which is much faster than the traditional way of construction. Concrete filled, if they are filled with the concrete, it eliminates the need for columns and floor beams too. So they start acting as structural walls. Now we should talk about the roof, because see, roof maximum heat gain happens is from the roof, because that's the area which is most exposed to the rays of the sun. And especially the flat roofs. In hot areas like Oman, the measures should be taken to minimize the same by using sustainable and recyclable materials. Here I have provided you with one of the few solutions rather. So we should try to provide a natural insulation. We should use again the cavities as we discussed in the walls, which act as an insulation material. We should try to do something so that the reflections of the incident rays which are coming on the roof is achieved. This would lead to increase in natural thermal comfort inside the buildings if we try to do all of these. So I have tried to highlight one of very interesting ways which are being followed in especially area of Gujarat in India. It has also very high temperature during summer season, and it has also part is like a desert. So and the local people use this often in their buildings. It's very interesting, and it's made from natural materials. So let's see how they do it. They call it earthen pot insulation system in the roof, and laying on top is China mosaic tiles to reflect the incidental rays. What are the advantages? This gives us a usable roof with greater thermal comfort inside, an eco-friendly, cheaper insulation system. This system is also 100% recyclable. So what's the procedure? Let's have a look. First, We, of course, there needs to be a structural slab underneath. Take it as a roof, like a normal roof. Then we do the waterproofing by epoxy based environment friendly waterproofing with fiberglass reinforcement. Then we place the inverted earthen pots, which are in diameter of 175 mm and depth 75 mm on wet cement mortar, cement and sand ratio 1:4. Fill the void spaces between pots with mortar till the mid pot height. We'll also look at some of the pictures so that you have a better idea for this. See, then we leave it for curing for 1 day. Finish the surface with 30 mm mixture cement sand aggregate 1:2:4. Make 20 mm cement mortar bedding, cement and sand again 1:4, and lay with china mosaic tiles on top. Fill the joints in tiles with white cement slurry and wash the finished surface clean with water. You can have a look, see how it's placed along with the mortar on the roof, and then they are filled up to the mid height. Then on top bedding is there, and then full surface we have of white mosaic tiles which reflect the incident rays of sun. So the maximum comfort, we have natural insulation, we have reflection of incident rays, and also we have a usable terrace out here. So we have achieved the best comfort with the maximum use. So there are other ways now for harnessing sustainable natural resources for energy, like everyone is talking about solar energy these days by placing solar panels on roof. But we should not just place them on roof. We should, if it's a flat roof, we should try to put them on an elevated stand. What would it do? It would provide shading, first of all, to the roof, and second benefit what we'll have air circulation path, so that the hot air rises and then cold air fills it. So we have a good air circulation underneath the solar panels as well. Using solar PV cells to harness solar power for all electric equipment used in coffee shop. So we should try to use solar panels which are eco-friendly and which reduces the management cost of a coffee shop or your house electricity bill. With the solar panels you can not just cool but also use it for heating or for other electrical purposes. The amount of energy what you can get depends on the type of solar panels and the number of solar panels you are using. These days a lot of advancement has been made in solar panels. We should go out there and look for our budget and then decide on what kind of solar panels we are looking for. Other eco-friendly building materials what can be employed to achieve greater comforts so that the running costs are low, our environment is more friendly, we have less hot air, gases, pollution, so that automatically our whole suburb starts to become more eco-friendly, and ultimately it is for everyone's benefit, not just one person's benefit. We can use natural stones for outdoor bathing and flooring surfaces that does not require sealants. It is durable, stain and skid resistant. Then we can use renewable timber from government certified forests and plantations. We can use anodized aluminum windows and door frames with timber texture if we want to. MDF instead of plywood for doors and cabinets. Then of course we should now switch our electrical bulbs and everything to LED lighting, because we have it available now in the market, and there's so much more they're so much more better than normal our bulbs. They last longer, they are environment friendly, and we have good quality of light from them. And they come nowadays in so many different fixtures, in all our chandeliers and everything. Nowadays everyone is designing with LED lights because that is the future. Wood and jute pergolas, thatched roof outdoor canopies, and we should see, while we are doing painting, there should be no or low VOC paints. Let's see the basic plan of a small coffee shop by using these principles. This is the north, as you see, this is the northeast direction. We have tried to put outdoor seatings and everything over here. They are wide opening, foldable doors on the north side, so that there is plenty ample of sunshine and air from this direction, which won't be harsh sun rays, and we don't have to worry about the high temperatures in this area. We try to give openings from here and here. This west side is definitely no openings. We try to give maximum heavier joinery in this area. Storage, cold rooms in northwest area, so that they are, and also shaded by lots of plantations in this area. This dotted line shows which are the higher placed windows at higher levels, so that there is a cross ventilation achieved from here. These are a few examples of outdoors sustainable material furniture. You can see natural thatched roofs, bamboos, ropes, jute. These are some materials which brings you closer to earth, which gives you more comfort, it gives you more pleasant feeling. So we should try to incorporate more and more of these in our designs, in our buildings, in our environment. This will lead us to a happier suburb and more environment friendly areas, and we would be mentally at peace by living in these kind of areas. Not just save energy, but generally we'll be at more peace because we'll be closer to nature, and that's something which everybody wants these days, which is the peace of mind. So everybody, please try to incorporate these small steps while you're designing your house or a cafe or any building these days. Try to be closer to the nature as much as possible. Thank you for listening. I'll make another video soon, and if you have any queries or questions, my email ID is smiti SMITI 2000 SINGH @yahoo